wait for Friday, but how about what the Knicks did already to the 76ers? They beat up on the worn-out 76ers on Monday night to the tune of 39 points. Knicks owner James Dolan was cracking jokes on an earnings call, perhaps foreshadowing, when he was asked about SG&A. That's a term regarding operating costs. Listen to this.
How we should think about SG&A for the remainder of the year.
Boy, I'm really tempted to crack a joke here. Yes, I will. So SGA is a great basketball player, and when we get to the finals, I'm sure we're going to beat him. Having said that, I think I'll turn the real question over to Robert.
So all of us at SG&A is, considering we all work in sports television. Stephen A., you love or hate Dolan making this joke?
You know what? I actually don't mind. You know what I mean? He usually says senseless things, or he usually comes across as a bit too arrogant, and that's when he speaks, because most of the time he doesn't speak on the record. Wendy and I was just talking about it, but I don't mind him joking right now. He's in good spirits. He should be, the way the New York Knicks are playing. For those out there, if you don't know what SG&A stands for, you're talking about expenses tied to companies' day-to-day operations. SG&A stands for Selling, General, and Administrative Expenses. Okay, I didn't know that. I had to look it up, okay? I didn't know what the hell it was. But nevertheless, the bottom line is this. The New York Knicks, over the last 4 games or so, have been playing hellacious basketball. There is no doubt about that. They look like they're destined for a berth to the NBA Finals, even though I'm sure the Detroit Pistons intend on having something to say about that. I just interviewed J.B. Bickerstaff on my SiriusXM show the other day, and I asked him flat out, it just seems like y'all want the Knicks so badly. And he said, I'll put it this way. The loss to them last year left a very, very sour taste in our mouth that we have not forgotten. But we are fully aware we have business to handle first. In other words, Stephen A., you're absolutely right. That's what he's saying. You're absolutely right. We want them damn New York Knicks. So Detroit's not playing. They got something to say about it. But obviously, New Yorkers don't care. We know what we're seeing. We know what we believe. And if the owner, the cat cutting the checks, is that confident, I don't mind, because that means if he doesn't get what he wants, heads are going to roll.
And they don't. Now you got it.
They don't want their heads to roll.
You arrived at the point.
They don't want their heads to roll. So extra incentive.
You've got it.
I'm good.
Wendy, do you agree with Stephen A.? You think the Knicks, maybe you've seen enough that they could be finals bound?
That's a ridiculous thing to say after one game in the second round. But let me tell you what's going on with Dolan right now. I just have to explain it. He's on top of the world because not only are the Knicks doing great. This was an earnings call, and I know this isn't CNBC. This was an earnings call for Sphere Entertainment.
Yeah.
Crushing it.
Okay?
No doubt. Since January 1st, do you know how much Jim Dolan's family's shares have gone up in Sphere Entertainment? How about almost $400 million? Okay? So here he is. Now think about this. He is business crushing it. Knicks crushing it. And he's feeling it. The only way I think Jim Dolan could be happier is if this was 1994 and he was on tour with the Eagles. Playing with Joe Walsh and Glenn Fry and Don Henley and Randy Meisner. Like, other than that, I don't think he could be happier in his life. But here's the thing. He's now said a couple of different times when he was on WFAN a few months ago with Craig Carton. Now this, he knows he's on a call. He knows everybody's going to hear what he said. I sure as hell hope the Knicks get to the finals, Stephen A., because if they don't, you know who believes in Shea, that they're the odds-on favorite? Jim Dolan believes it.
That's right.
And so just keep that in mind. The Knicks got to play games tonight. There's a lot more. You got to win 12 playoff games.
But it does matter what he believes because he's cutting the checks.
I'm taking note. But the checks are coming to him right now. That's know how much each playoff game is worth at Madison Square Garden? Anyway, let's put it this way. It takes 12 playoff wins to get to the conference finals. Okay? The Knicks have won 5. They may get to 12, but they have won 5. Just remember that.
Not even halfway there.
I don't know how anybody right now, Brian, could say the Knicks are not the odds-on favorite to win the conference. Championship's a different story. I don't think they're winning the NBA championship. I still think the Spurs and the Thunder are going to play for the title, and the Knicks are playing for second.
Stop it!
But they're going to beat Sixers here. They're going to beat Philly. Philly will win a game or two, but they're going to beat them. And they're going to beat Detroit or Cleveland. Probably Detroit. They're going to beat the Pistons. Nobody cares about that 3 games.
I love how these guys who are so veteran, who have seen so much in the NBA and pro sports. Yes, Dog, you're correct that they look like the best team today. But everything turns on a trifle. Like, yeah, today they look good. They haven't missed a shot in 2 weeks. They're going to miss shots at some point. Like, it's not going to be a merry-go-round.
Well,
I mean,
I'm not going to speak for Doggy. I'll speak for me. I am aware of that. But that is easy to come out of a mouth of somebody who hasn't suffered since 1973. We're going to hold on to this moment.
Because it's hard to win free series.
I'm just saying, we are aware of this. But that doesn't mean we got to bloviate like you are and remind the world that, you know what, they're eventually going to miss shots. Well, call me when they miss shots. I mean, a couple of weeks ago, you saw me go to hell off. Everybody thought that I was going to have a heart attack or a stroke on national television because I was going ballistic about how the New York Knicks looked when they were down 2-1. And that motivational speech that I gave all of a sudden had the profound effect that I wanted it to have. And the New York Knicks look like they haven't missed a shot since. Damn it, I'm taking credit for it. And if I got to call them out again, I'll do it. Whatever it takes to get to the finals, to be 4 games away from a championship. I don't give a damn if I got to be a ball boy. I don't care if I got to sit up there and lead protests outside of Madison Square Garden. Whatever it takes, this is where it's at. I don't want to hear this, Wendy. I don't want to hear logic. I don't want to hear sense.
All right.
I don't want to hear any of that.
All right. Number 1, let's see at the Garden. That's number 1. Number 2, hell hath no fury like a disappointed Jim Dolan. And
That's right.
And he's never been more excited.
Hey.
He's excited right now. And that's the point of it.
A disappointed Jim Dolan. Hey, Doggy, a disappointed Jim Dolan, dare I say, might remind me a little bit of one of the greatest owners in the history of sports.
Who's
the
that?
Late, great George Steinbrenner. God rest his soul. I love that man. I love that man. I will always love. I'm not down with the family, but George Steinbrenner, I miss that man. The Yankees would not have been since 2009 with a World Series championship if George Steinbrenner was still alive, because we need that. We need that kind of hostility from up top sometimes. Not all the time, not most of the time, but sometimes you need it. I don't mind.
So
I don't mind.
Okay, I feel like everyone's feeling good about the Knicks, especially Doggy and especially Stephen A. I mean, heck, they haven't really played a second half in like 3 games, okay? You could have checked out at halftime and still felt the same
All right,
result.
Miss Chicago. All right.
However, Stephen A., you hinted at this, that the Pistons are the 1 seed, and Doggy did pride himself on telling the world and telling us all the Pistons couldn't shoot, and they were not living up to that 1 seed next to their name. Well, let's recall that. Remember this from last week when Detroit trailed Orlando 3-1 in the series?
4.5 for this entire postseason. Bear in mind, right now they're 5-0. The under is favored at -155, meaning they're telling you it's likelier that they don't lose 5 games than it is that they do. The Thunder are also plus 3,000 to go a perfect 16-0 for the entire playoffs. I'll point out that's something that no one has ever done. No team has won the championship in the relatively modern era of the NBA, where there have been multiple series like this without losing at least 1 game. So I'm trying to figure out how to frame this. Michael Wilbon, we'll start with you because obviously you're the Hall of Famer and you have seen it all. Do you think the Thunder break a sweat? Is there a team out there that is going to take the Thunder? I didn't think it was going to happen last year, and then they got pushed to 7 games in the second round, and they got pushed to 7 games, which I absolutely did not expect in the finals, by Indiana. So, like, this Lakers series doesn't look like it's going to be that difficult for them. Do you think that they're going to rampage through this thing?
Well, listen, I've been wrong already, because the 2 teams I thought could challenge OKC, they're out. I thought if the Celtics get to the finals, they can certainly do it.
Right.
Just given the recent pedigree. And I thought Denver could do it. Both gone.
Right.
So who's standing? The Knicks can challenge. Yeah, the Knicks can challenge OKC, and so can Minnesota. You know, I mean, Minnesota could. I wonder about San Antonio once again for the same reason. Just not enough playoff experience. Could they challenge him? Of course they can challenge him. When you have a player as great as Victor Wembanyama and somebody like Stephon Castle, who in a year is going to be first team All NBA or maybe 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Challenge him. But OKC right now, and remember, they're missing their second best player.
Yep.
And they just rampage through the opposition right now. And I'm having to revise.
They just replace one Jalen Williams with another Jalen Williams, and they just keep going
Exactly.
on their business. I will remind everyone, for whatever it's worth, I know you know this, but maybe at home, Like San Antonio beat up on OKC this
they
year. Does that
did.
matter?
They did. Yeah, they
Does the
did.
fact that they beat up on them during the regular year, they beat them pretty soundly multiple times during this regular season. If styles make fights, does that matter?
I do think it will matter, but if San Antonio gets past Minnesota, they're going to be worse for wear. And so that is the thing. Now we're talking about the team that has done it in terms of the paces and what is required to play basketball into late May and June versus the team that'll just be in the new territory.
I'm with you, Monica, but the NBA moves faster than ever, quicker than ever. 2 years ago, Oklahoma City was a #1 seed that lost in the second round, and then they won the title.